And viewers, a shocking video surfaced showing young employees being treated worse than animals, crawling on all fours, leashed like dogs, and force-fed bananas spat on by their seniors, all because they failed to meet sales targets. This is not discipline. This is dehumanization. This is slavery in the name of sales. The company Keltro, operating in Perumbavoor, sold the dreams of a decent job, offered around 12,000 rupees in pay, and delivered public humiliation instead, and psychological torture. And when a young woman resisted, she was allegedly summoned to a terrace and insulted by the general manager. That manager has now been booked for insulting a woman. State Youth Commission has taken suo motu action, and protests have erupted, forcing the closure of the firm's office as well. So back to my coverage coming in right now. This is an incident, shocking video. You can see how the employees are being treated there. They're crawling on all fours. They're leashed like dogs, force-fed bananas. They're spat on by the seniors, all because they failed to meet the sales target. Humiliation at its worst coming in. And I want to go across to my colleague Ashwin, who's joining us on the phone line. Ashwin, these visuals are quite shocking in terms of the humiliation that employees are facing. These are employees who are earning a decent living by being employed by a company. But what they're getting in return is treatment which is meted out to them. They're being treated like animals, literally. Ashwin. Yes, go ahead. What is happening? What's the latest we're learning of? Any action has been taken against this humiliation?
Absolutely.
That's why these incidents point out.
Absolutely, the kind of humiliation that these young men had gone through in Kerala has made the entire state in a big shock. In fact, the Education Minister, also the Labour Minister, V. Shivankoti, has now constituted a Labour Commission to even look into the matter and submit a report within 3 days. In fact, it has now been seen that these men who earns a paltry income of around 6,000 to 8,000 rupees have been given targets which are difficult to meet. That is one. And number two, in face they fail to get these targets. They are being subjected to such kind of a humiliation. This is also getting from inside sources that this has been continuing for a long time. In fact, these young men did not even understand that this is absolutely wrong, and nobody even complained until this video got leaked. So the BJP has also come forward out and started reacting on it. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, the president of the BJP, has stated that this is the pathetic state of the youth of Kerala who are trying to get jobs, trying to stick on to jobs despite facing such humiliation. So that is a reaction from the BJP that is there. We are also likely to be joined by the BJP leader Muralidharan over here. He will be speaking to us in a short while from now. We are trying to get his reaction as well. But what's important is that this has shocked the conscience of Kerala. Young men have been subjected to utmost cruelty by these managers. The company in question is Muralidharan ji, these youngsters who have been subjected to this kind of a humiliation. How do you see it? Is there a larger issue?
See, the thing is, Kerala has been suffering from a lot of issues, especially in the youth sector and the youth front. One is the widespread usage of drugs. Second is the severe lack of employment opportunities. So that is driving the people to out of Kerala to various other states and out of country. So the atmosphere for employment and opportunities for employment, and for that whatever measures have to be taken, that's perhaps lacking, and that is the reason perhaps for such incidents and such.
Do you think these youngsters were subjected to humiliation? They were okay with this humiliation because they were fearing that they will lose their job. They don't have that much opportunity in Kerala. Is that the reason? Is that what you point?
That is why people tend to suffer and accept humiliations, because if they feel that there are very few opportunities in Kerala, and those who doesn't like to go abroad, they suffer those humiliation and continue in Kerala. That is the hapless situation.
So this is what the BJP is stating, that the larger issue of the problems that is faced by youth is what has been reflected in incidences like these.
All right.
Back to the studio.
Ashwin, I have come back to be joined by a guest on the phone line. Rahul Ishwar is joining us, analyst joining us, activist and analyst both. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Ishwar. You know, what we see right now is that how these employees were treated like animals. They were leashed, they were insulted, this is so-called punishment. So-called punishment. Your first reaction to these pictures that we are seeing on our screens?
This is absolutely outrageous, as Honorable Minister C. Muralidharanji said. No, this shows a very bad culture. This kind of a corporate slavery culture or any kind of humiliation is absolutely unacceptable. I hope some action would be taken. There are news and counter news coming that somebody is saying this is a training and all, but that sounds, we don't know the truth of it. So there should be an inquiry into it. There should be an immediate, strong inquiry into the entire nature, what happened. And this is very outrageous. As a Malayali, as a Keralite, I'm ashamed that something like this happens in my state. So a detailed inquiry should be conducted, and those who are found guilty should definitely be punished. And this is not the culture we Keralites or Indians would like to portray outside. So absolutely, this is outrageous and condemnable.
Right. Right. And what kind of action do you think should be taken in this case? You know, Mr. Ishwar, given the fact that these are employees and the employees who are trying to earn honest living, and this is not how somebody gets treated, especially absolutely a treatment which is completely dehumanizing. Do you think it's time for strict action in this case? And what do you think the action should be taken against this company should be?
Absolutely, ma'am. First, there should be a strong inquiry, then we should find evidence, and then there should be a strong action. Labor law should be implemented in a serious way. There are many corporate companies who don't understand and really see their employees as humans. We are not working machines. That's the reason why proper sensitization, awareness, and those who have done this thing, they should definitely be brought to book. They should be held accountable and punished. So first inquiry, then searching for evidence, and then a strong action should be the way ahead. It has brought shame to me as a Malayali and a Keralite, and I'm ashamed that such a thing happened here. So a strong inquiry and action should follow, I hope.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rahul Ishwar, activist, for joining us there on the phone line with us. I want to go back to my colleague Ashwin, who's also joining us. And, the inquiry has been ordered already. You were talking about that, Ashwin. And, this has put focus back on how the private sector is some areas of the private sector, the labor practices are unregulated. This is an example of how unregulated labor practices result in employees being treated like animals. Yes, go ahead, Ashwin. What else are we learning of?
Well, absolutely. In a state like Kerala, where there are stringent labor laws which are set in place, where historically Kerala has had an advantage of labor laws which are very stringent, even in a state like Kerala, this has happened and it has gone unnoticed, is something that has added shock. In fact, V. Shivankuti, the minister, has stated that severe actions will be taken, and quickly the people who are behind this will be brought to books after a thorough committee finds out what actually went about. Now, this company in question is called as Keltro. It's supposed to be taking materials of this company called as Hindustan Powerlink and selling it to people and these salesperson, these marketing team are supposed to be young guys who go home to home and sell these products. So based on their performance, daily performances, they are evaluated, and if they're not able to do it, that's when this kind of humiliation is being subjected to, is what is essentially being reported. It's the scorching heat of summer. The government has itself stated that walking out between 11 and 3 is definitely not the way ahead. Certainly, there is kind of a productivity low, but this has probably affected them. But this kind of measures, what we are seeing, this kind of videos that is coming out, which is absolutely inhumane, has put Kerala in a tight spot.
Ashwin,
and that is certainly a matter of concern.
Brinda Adige is also joining us on the phone. And I'll come back to you, Ashwin. I want a first reaction from Brinda Adige. One more case of we see employees being treated in such a manner, and this is raising a lot of concerns. This video has also gone viral on social media, sparking a debate. Yes, Brinda Adige.
This is not just concern. We should be outraged that employees have been treated like slaves. Is that a registered company, or is it some kind of a feudal setup? Profiteering from these people, they are salesmen and women, and if they can sell, they'll sell. If they cannot, they cannot. Maybe there is some other kind of HR guidelines that must guide them. But you cannot make any of the citizens of this nation to be licking the floor or any such kind of thing. It is a human rights violation, not even just the labor laws. And I hope that the management is punished. There is a case that must be registered against the management. All of them. Nobody should say we did not know. It was only the manager. It was only the supervisor. All of them are party to this.